Isn't it the most annoying thing to be standing with your child, having this amazing conversation in the kitchen, and in the moment they need to go into the sitting room where the guests are sitting, they're holding onto your leg, they're hiding, they don't want to greet, they're not making eye contact, they're speaking softly. The teenager, he just walks past and says, "Hi." And you're thinking, what just happened? Where did my child go? Well, that's exactly what most parents struggle with that reach out to us for the Junior Unforgettable Speakers program. And today I'm going to tell you a bit more about that program because I firmly believe that program can change your child's life. As a young child, I started my public speaking journey at the age of 7. I had a public speaking coach that would help me practice for public speaking competitions. But the sad thing when we think about it now is that not every child had the opportunity. Only a select few children that had the potential were chosen to participate in these competitions. And that means it left all the others out. And that's why I have created the Junior Unforgettable Speakers program. When we thought about this Junior Unforgettable Speakers program, as the founder as well as the coach Rose, the one thing we wanted to do with this program is to give the children everything we felt our coaching lacked. And this is because we've realized that speaking isn't just about the performative aspects of it, but it's really about certain foundations that sometimes are missed in class, but can be picked up the moment you're sitting with a coach that hears how you speak, that coaches you through it. When we think about children, especially within the schooling phase, they are all very different. And the first thing we wanted to create is a separation based on the age and what is expected of them at that specific age. And that's why we've divided our junior program learners into 3 levels. At level 1, we are dealing with your grade 1 to grade 3 learners. And this is where it all begins. Because when your child starts that early, by the time they are in grade 12, they have more than 10 years public speaking experience. And that in itself sets them apart. So at this point, your children are still getting to know themselves. Everything feels quite new, school and its routine, homework and all its expectations. Coming out of preschool where they weren't judged for anything. And now at school, they are graded for their behavior, for how they understood, for how they read, and for how they spoke. And when we start with the junior phase, we really focus on that emotional security. Because when they see strangers or they're in an uncomfortable or unknown environment, they find themselves drawing back and not being the little Palesa that you know that plays comfortably with the dolls loudly in the room. And what we want is for them to start feeling comfortable with that voice, being themselves and sharing what they share in private, confidently in public. And then you might be thinking, oh no, Palesa, but my grade 1 to grade 3 doesn't have that problem. I've got a chatterbox. I've got the person that doesn't greet and starts getting to the point and tells auntie about her hat that he doesn't like and how she must make sure she wears clean shoes, right? There's that child as well. And you sit there thinking, oh, cringe, please stop talking. You're saying all the wrong things and you're saying things halfway through. We don't really know what you mean. And that child as well, in this program, gets to find structure because their confidence is already high. But now you need to be able to help them to speak with a bit more structure. You need to help them speak with consideration as to who am I speaking to? And is this message going to land? And yes, all of that can be taught through the exercises, the fun challenges that they get to do. At this stage, they get to simulate small activities like presenting on their favorite hero and why they love this hero and doing it more expressively. They get to tell stories of their favorite holiday. And in that, learning storytelling structures, they get to learn how to answer questions because everywhere they go, people will ask them, "What's your name? How old are you? What school do you go to? What's your favorite subject?" And sometimes we wonder, why is it that you're able to tell me, but now you don't want to tell them? And that's just because they haven't gotten that emotional stability yet. And in this program, they start to develop that. Just the other day, we received a voice note from a grade one's parent that was raving about how he did so well in a 7-minute presentation where he was standing still, he was speaking loud enough, and this was in front of the whole class. Some of us can't even imagine our children doing that. But the program, it works. And now let's talk about level 2 and what plays a role with the level 2 speakers. Level 2, we're looking at grade 4 to grade 7. Now your children are a bit more mature. They've understood why they're at school and what they want to achieve at school. The big thing is none of them want to get in trouble. None of them want to be the one that fails at the end of the year. And now orals have become a part of what they get to do, as well as they're in that setting where the pressure of group work, as well as engaging with other students, is becoming even more important. At primary level, you already see there are prefects. There's head boys and head girls at primary. And trust and believe, the children that get chosen to be in those rooms are the ones that have showcased that confidence amongst their peers, in the classroom, and have the ability to speak. So in this cohort, we specifically focus on teaching them structure. So here we want them to be able to use all that which they're learning and be able to articulate it in a manner that helps them to be clear. Because here they are more aware of judgment. They know the teacher is not watching my oral for us to have fun, but the teacher is watching my oral to give me a mark. And that mark will influence my mom's feedback at the end of the day. So they are aware of how people perceive them, and how they are perceived matters quite a lot to them. And them having the skill to speak well, even in the unprepared, is what helps them to be able to cultivate those leadership skills in the moments where their peers are watching them, as well as the people that are the authority figures are with them. So level 2 is a very crucial stage to start having your children speak with confidence. Now let's talk a little bit about high school. Now here things get very serious. When we started the program, we had high school parents reaching out every single day. And on email, it would be, "My son's got a bursary interview. We've got a scholarship interview. He wants to become a leader." And those would be the kind of emails that made us realize the importance of helping them young. Because those conversations they're in high school play a role not just on their schooling, but ultimately on their career. Now, at this level and phase, we focus on teaching them that authentic executive presence. We teach them how to speak with influence. We help them to be able to be comfortable in their own skin, because we all know teenagers and their insecurities and how everything for them is, "Oh, that's so cringe. Why do you do that?" We all know how they constantly very focused on how people experience them. And what we want to do for them is really give them some form of grounding, help them to be able to showcase who they truly are in every room, and to influence rooms based on moving decisions forward in class, moving decisions forward with that which they want within their career. And of course, getting that bursary, getting that acceptance into that varsity. Because ultimately, the foundation of their career is built on communication. So that is how this 3-level program is divided. And what makes our program very unique and very special is the initial assessment that we do with a speech therapist, where she does an assessment to determine the level your child speaks at for their age, grade, and what's expected of them at that time. And with that report, we are able to make informed decisions as to what is important for us to coach your child on in the program. This is a program that is literally the foundation of that which you give your child, which they don't have to go and relearn as an adult. And it's offered virtually, so it makes it accessible to any child across the world. And you can sign up your child to help them to not just face the screen watching YouTube videos, but to face the screen developing a skill that they can use in everyday settings and that will make them the unforgettable speaker they're meant to be. So let me give you just a quick recap. We have level 1, where we help them with their emotional safety, help them to be able to become confident even in unfamiliar environments. And then we have level 2, and here we focus on giving them structure, giving them the ability to speak with clarity so that they are able to land their messages effectively. And then we have level 3, and here we give them that authentic executive presence to be able to ace every interview and conversation that they are in. I'd love to invite you to our program. It is a 6-month program that helps them to be able to absorb the information and even use it every single day. So when you look into the description box, you're going to find a link, and on that link, you can sign up your child for the program. We can't wait to see you in the program, as we do get to meet each parent one-on-one prior to the program. And that's it for today. Remain unforgettable.